Thank you for coming back to Let's Talk Beyond the Pulpit. I am Grace Forlu, and I'm very happy you're here. Listen, before we move on, just do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and be sure to leave a comment and share with others. And as you join in to make this platform grow, my prayer for you is that when you need it, others will do the same for you. Thank you, and I hope you're blessed. Let's get to the show. Dr. Wilson Joel, also known as Music Magnate, is a Nigerian-born US-based multi-genre music producer, director, composer, audio engineer, songwriter, coach, multi-instrumentalist, and media entrepreneur with over 2 decades of global experience. He is best known for serving as a music director for the House on the Rock Church in Nigeria and also serving at The Experience for 9 years, which is the world's largest gospel concert held at Tafawa Balewa Square, Nigeria, featuring global icons like Donnie McClurkin, Nathaniel Bassey, Cece Wine, Sinach, and many more. Dr. Joel is a member of the Recording Academy, popularly known as the Grammys, and has collaborated with Universal Music, Sony Music, and many artists across Africa, Europe, and the United States. His work has reached an estimated 40 million listeners worldwide through productions, mixes, and compositions. He is the founder of Doxology Music Entertainment LLC, Maryland, USA, established after being granted a U.S. visa as a person of extraordinary ability. Beyond production, he advocates for fairness in the music industry, opposing exploitative practices and supporting talent development across Africa and North America. In 2023, he was recognized as part of the prestigious Recording Academy class. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Let's Talk Beyond the Pulpit, Dr. Joel Wilson. Welcome to Let's Talk Beyond the Pulpit.
Thank you
I'm
so
very
much.
excited to have you here.
Same here. So good to be here.
Thank you for creating the time to be here and
Thank you
for
so
us to
much.
have this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
I've thought about this topic for a long time, and I've always known that when I want to have this conversation, I need to start this conversation with you. Yes. Your track record is full, and you don't speak a lot. You say sensible things, but you don't speak a lot. And I've had the opportunity to speak with you before on several things and, to just work with you in several ways. So I'm very excited. Thank you for being
Thank you for the kind words. My head is swelling, but I don't know what you're talking about. But
that's what they say.
Thank you.
And then you see them post on social media how they got a Grammy nomination. And they're like, we don't know who you're talking about.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you.
Okay.
Glory be to God.
Thank you. Today, I wanted us to, talk about the creativity of the African artist. The reason why I'm specific about the African artist is because I do see a lot of creativity in non-African artists. And I see it accepted widely, even within their culture. But when I look within the African churches, I would say specifically Cameroonians and Nigerians, there's so much that is not being accepted. Now, over the past 6 years, a lot of changes have happened. There have been more doors open to a certain type of artist. I would say, I'll just call names. Obviously, it's not for bad purposes, but I'll say people in the likes of Prince Emmanuel, even Dr. Tim. Dr. Tim is someone that I believe set a certain type of pace within the church. He kind of reminds me of what Kirk Franklin did with gospel music.
When he came fresh.
Yes. Because when Kirk Franklin came out, everybody was like, whoa, what's this? This is new. People called it ungodly, but he's been very consistent.
Of course.
And so when I see that creativity being brought out from a person and being used for the glory of God, I actually enjoy it, but I have seen it met with so much
backlash.
Exactly. And resistance. So what is your take? What is your mindset about the backlash that some of these artists get?
I think it is just a human thing. People are naturally resistant to change.
Right.
So sometimes when you find people, resisting some of these things, or should I say, criticizing these things, it's not because they really want to criticize those things, because they don't understand it. So take, for example, a child who all their life, maybe from the age of, let's say from like the age of 2, they always eat white rice with stew, and then maybe some extra things like plantain or whatever salad on the side. Now they turned maybe 12, and all you offer them is like a concussion rice where everything is put together. They might like it, but it will be hard for them to let go of the white rice and stew, because that's what they are used to.
Right.
So I think it's just the same thing. Whilst there's been abuse of, trying to do something new by some people, I don't know them, but I just know there will have been some people who have misused the opportunity to try and create new thing, but they're actually distorting, what the foundations are meant to be. I also believe that there are a lot of creativity going out there. Like you mentioned, Kirk Franklin, I remember very well. I was in my teenage years, when he came. I think I was just about living to my 20s or something like that. The backlash was so much that if you sing a song in church, they call you an unbeliever. It was that deep. So anytime we wanted to do like special number, at that time, Kirk Franklin is not the song you want to do.
You don't want to pick them, right?
You don't want trouble. Yeah, because they are going to fight you. Then came, like the young minds, like young pastors, who were like, no, we see what this guy is trying to do. I strongly think that they are the ones who actually helped to amplify what he's trying to do at the time. So they now started to accept it and say, you know what, you guys sing that Kirk Franklin, Storm is over. Or what's the song? Not Storm is over. Stomp. Sorry, I always say Stomp. Sing Stomp. And then we'll sing, it's nice. I mean, the words are not vulgar. The words are still gospel. So it's just a creativity resistance thing.
Yeah.
People are not naturally open to new stuff. If you want to change something about someone, it's uncomfortable for them, because now they have to recalibrate their mind and try to get used to it. So I just think it's just a change thing.
Now you spoke about like the foundation. Can we actually say there is a foundation when it comes to music in the church? Because sound changes. We know that for a fact. But when I hear some of our fathers, and by father, we often refer to fathers when we talk about fathers in the faith, but we also have fathers in music. I don't know why we don't talk about mothers. Have you ever heard mothers in the faith? I hardly hear it.
Of course I have.
I hardly hear it. I don't hear mothers in music. But those that came before us, I say this respectfully, they tend to feel that the changes that are happening now are causing us to shift from the foundation of music. And by they, I don't mean every one of them, but I have heard people who came up on social media and said those things who are fathers in music back in the day. So do you think that that's an accurate thing to say, that we have shifted away from the foundation of what gospel music
again, like I said, it just has to do with change, when people resist change. So most times what people call culture and foundation is basically something they've been used to. And perhaps to make it a bit more, let's go a little bit back, is also something that was passed down to them to say, hey, this is how it has to be done. You see what I'm trying to say? I'll give you an example. For instance, back in the days, I don't know why it's not so big in America for some reason. That's what I've been told. I'm not sure. Maybe the listeners will be able to certify if it's true or not. There was integrity music. There was Hosanna music. It was so big in Africa.
Yes,
that if you are not, that if you were not singing like that or singing those songs, your praise and worship is not complete for some reason. But today, that's not the case.
Right.
People now embrace their own culture in gospel music. So, in fact, I was saying to my wife the other day, I said, have you noticed something about a lot of gospel music these days? She said, what? I said, most people now approach gospel music from their cultural view. So you hear them sing, And you could almost tell that, hey, this person is from the northern side of Nigeria because of the melodies they're using or the tone that they are using to approach the song. And then when they run their scales like a singer, you go, that person must be Igbo. You say, that person is Cameroon.
Even if it's an English song?
You understand? Yes, even if it's an English, they put it in somewhere there, you know, and then you wonder what's going on. Just because people probably are like, you know what, there's something about me. I'm from the northern part, we sing a certain way. Why can't I sing my gospel song like that? Why do I have to sound like Integrity Music or Hosanna or somebody else? So there is, the answer is yes and no. Yes, there is a foundation. No, there's really no foundation.
Okay.
Yes, because, you know, I am a big fan of history. I'm a big fan of, if it worked before, let it work again. You know, I'm a big fan of that. So for me, what I refer to as foundation is what were the things that worked and they have a solid, you know, base in the gospel. Like the Integrity Music still and the Hosanna music. It's a nice foundation, if you ask me. For a lot of, you know, gospel artists that, you know, sprang out of Africa, it was because of those two record labels. Let's be fair.
They were very inspirational.
They were very inspirational.
I even wonder if they were as famous in America as they were in Africa.
That's what
they
I'm
were everywhere. Those are the people we listen to.
When I tell people here, like I did a concert recently, I think like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So what I did, I pulled 2 of the old school songs in. I said, we're going to do these songs. And people were like, we don't know. I'm like, are you joking? These songs came from here.
Doesn't it make you feel old?
Yeah. Yeah, it made me feel old. You know yourself. You know your name. You know? So I'm like, these songs are from here. They said, we didn't know them. Like, we didn't know them. I'm like, really? This is interesting. And this were the Hosanna Integrity and the Hosanna Integrity music, you know, that was big in Africa. Now, to the no foundation, you know, everybody does, I won't call it trial and error, but everybody does what they feel is right per time for something. So, for example, gospel music, you hear people say, oh, gospel music came from the black church. I don't know if I agree 100%. So maybe a particular style came from the black church. So what about the white church? Let's put it that way. Something also
we categorize them into CCM.
You understand?
They all fall within the same category.
There we go.
Of gospel and Christian and all of it. Yeah.
There we go. And back then, mind you, back then, the CCM that we appreciate today, we didn't appreciate it then. Yes. Like, why was all this rock guitar? Why everything rock, everything, what's going on?
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
You know, everything rock guitar, no. In fact,
we actually thought it was demonic.
That's exactly where I was going to.
Like all that demonic stuff.
That's exactly where I was going to. People will say, oh, no. Those people are trying to bring demonic sound into the gospel. Why? Because it's not strings and pads, piano, and maybe just live drums, you know, some brass, flutes. You know, once it crosses that line, like I say, it comes back again to change. Once people don't understand something, they naturally will fight it. You know, it only takes few people to say, no, let me assess what's going on and then be able to, oh, okay, this is new. Okay, let me try and listen more and see where it's coming from.
Do you think that there are certain sounds that should not be accepted in the church? I think of just what you said with the rock and all of that. I love rock music.
Me too.
See, I don't like screamo. I was telling someone the other day, I said screamo is from hell. Screamo, you can never hear screamo in heaven. If you hear screamo in heaven, you are in hell. You cannot make it there. Because it comes with the presence. I'm like, the Spirit of God with me bears with that one.
Wrong.
It's not just my preference. That is not going to be in heaven. But the rock as we know it today, I've seen it incorporated even to some pastors in Nigeria who sing. Like, I love Pastor Emmanuel Eren's music. It's where I want to be as far as the sound is concerned. I love it. Exodus 31 talks about God gifting Bezalel the gifts of artistry, craftsmanship. So with those gifts that he was given, and there are people in this life, you have more than one gift. But since we're talking about music, are there certain sounds within you that you've resisted putting out because you fought with the notion that it might not be accepted? Maybe because of culture, or maybe because it's not something people expect of you.
Yeah, there are, to be honest. In fact, There's some things I can't even post on social media because of backlash. You're like, why is he playing that? But here's how I always like to put it. A certain gentleman from Nigeria who is very popular in the gospel music. I used to tell people, I said, he was a jazz artist. I said, the reason why people appreciate his music more is not just because he's anointed. Of course, he's given, he's anointed. But he's skillful.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes. He's highly skillful.
Right.
Like, let me make it easy for anybody who's listening. He's so skillful that, you know, he can play music in any room and it will earn their respect. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
So, talking about sound, there are so many sounds that we have in gospel. If we want to be very, not judicious in this sense, if we want to be legalistic, they should not make it into gospel. There's a drum in Nigeria called talking drum. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Talking drum is not a Christian instrument. In fact, talking drum was used to worship idols.
Yes.
If I was used to communicate things to the people, sometimes from the palace of the king to the people. There's a bigger one called Iyailu. That's the mother of all drums. That's what it means. It's bigger than the talking drum. It has the same shape, but it's bigger, like really big and long. Those things were not for gospel music. So I'm saying that there are different things that we have incorporated in gospel music. You know, it's very simple. All things are, lawful, not all things are expedient. You understand what I'm saying? That's how I see it. Like, if we want to take away all the elements, and all the things that this should not be, there we go. And unfortunately these days, people think that gospel music is strings and pad. Guess what? Bon Jovi uses strings and pad. Michael Jackson used a lot of it. And people wept. Some people fainted at Michael Jackson's concert. For real. Ambulance had to pick them up. How can you faint? You cannot wake up. That's serious. You understand what I'm saying? Because of how they used all those instruments and all the elements and all the sounds and stuff. So I just generally always say that, music is very wide. And the way I understand it might not be the way you understand it. In fact, your experiences might be so much than mine that you have seen different type of music, that when you want to now open your mouth to sing or you want to create your music, you are coming from a place of, guys, I've heard so much music in my life. These are the elements I'm trying to put in. Now, just like when I lived in South Africa, the sound in South Africa was different.
Right.
In fact, I had to leave my Nigerian sound when I moved there to really, really learn it because it was so beautiful. And I love something about the South Africans. Shout out to South Africans. They don't play with their sound. They love it.
Oh, yeah. They're very proud of it. And they showcase it wherever they go.
No matter what they want to sing, they will put it in somewhere. And you will hear it. And it's so beautiful. I always say that the best singers in the world, as far as I'm concerned, they are from South Africa. Stressless.
I can't go against that.
Yeah, stressless. You can wake somebody up and they'll sing so beautifully
and someone next to them will harmonize.
You understand what I'm saying?
And like you're saying, they have a sound.
Yeah.
They have a particular sound. It's not just in them harmonizing.
Yeah.
Don't we harmonize?
Yeah.
If I give a tune here, you pick it up.
Exactly.
You can go into alto or soprano.
Just so I don't forget, sorry to cut you.
No, go ahead.
I remember back in the 80s, I think it was the 80s or early, back in the 80s, when we heard South African sound, guess what we used to say? Oh, these people are suffering. That's why they sound like this. You see what I'm trying to say?
Right.
These people are going through a lot. Oh, they're heartbroken. Oh, they're in pain. They're soulful.
That's true.
You see what I'm trying to say? So sounds are just from one time I was in Cairo, Egypt, and I heard Egyptian music for the first time, like for real. I'm like, my goodness, God created something. Listen, from a critical mind, it doesn't sound great. When I listen to it carefully, I'm like, this is very technical.
Right.
So imagine I take an element of that now, I put it in the intro of a song, a gospel song. Somebody might say, oh, this guy. You're beginning to you're losing your faith.
Dabble into something
else. You're
else.
putting hand into something else. So this sound is wide.
Right.
Fine, we need to be careful. You know, there has to be balance. You know, we can't just take everything and just throw everything in. We have to ensure that, you know, it glorifies God at the end of the day. You know, I mean, if a sound is sounding like some type of R. Kelly song, and then you pull it just the way it is, and then you put a gospel lyric on top of it, it's not edifying.
Not right. It's not. It's not. I love how you gave the examples of the different countries, because of a truth, if we were to incorporate some of that, they will think we have gone off course.
Exactly.
It's not even South African, because for South Africa, majority of the world is a little bit familiar. Some are a lot more familiar to their sound. But you know, let's go into the Arab nations.
Listen.
And you start a song with it. Somebody will start thinking this one is doing New Age.
Exactly.
Of which there are Christian people
in Ethiopia.
Exactly. Who have those sounds for gospel, Christian, glorifying, edifying music. So we really cannot put a limit to what we think Christian or gospel music should sound like. I know in Psalms 150, it talks about glorifying the Lord with the trumpet, with the timbre. I know you mentioned the talking drum and the history of the talking drum. Do you think that, because I know from the beginning, in the beginning, God created. So I know that he created everything, right?
God is the father of creativity. The devil creates nothing. He just photocopies.
Yeah.
The devil creates nothing. When people say, oh, the
he
devil
may have created Screamo.
Come again?
He may have created Screamo. I have a personal
I leave that for
barrier against Screamo.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead.
You know, I just feel it's just a perversion thing. You know, I mean, why would there be, in layman's term, issue between Lucifer and Jehovah? There was perversion. So it's the same way I see these things. Like, I wish history had like a video that we could probably watch and see the real beginning of everything. Like, okay, where did talking drum start? Okay, trumpets, where did this start from? Now, a saxophone might look very good. You'll be shocked that if we go to the history of saxophone, we'll find something that is like, my goodness, don't bring that thing into the church anymore. You see what I'm trying to say?
True.
What I'm really trying to say is perversion would have happened somewhere. I don't know where. Because some of these instruments are too beautiful for the devil to create.
Tell me about it.
There's one guitar called is it Goge, or I think they call it Goge or something like that. I think from Senegal. So if you hear the sound of that guitar,
we cannot give Satan glory for that.
There we go. But when you go to the history of it, my goodness, they will tell you blah, 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 blah. But when you hear the sound, it's so beautiful. Now, the same thing with strings. The same strings we are talking about, some people play the strings and use it to do horror movies. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so the usage of a thing, I to be very careful, I always say that the usage of a thing is more important than the thing. You know, does that mean that I'm encouraging that you should just have a singer by your side, even if you are not using it? That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying that, you know, the reason why you use something should be bigger than the thing.
The thing itself. I also just want to get back into that word creativity. Like you said, change is difficult, but we both know that change is constant. Whether we like it or not, things will change. You know, when social media came about, we had our people saying the devil has come. You get the mark of the beast through social media.
Where are they now?
They too have gotten the mark of the beast. They have finally joined the mark of the beast. Now AI is taking over.
Oh my goodness.
I know that anybody, especially if you're young, if you're not taking out the time to study AI, you will feel old in the next 2 years.
That's the truth.
You will feel out of place because it's taking over.
That's the truth.
And with the improvement on technology comes the improvement on creativity in other departments.
Yep.
People will no longer, let me not say to make it an absolute statement, but a lot of people will no longer hire videographers to shoot videos.
Unfortunately, it's already there because everybody can shoot their videos now and edit it by themselves.
We can take this footage and create something out of it using AI.
Exactly.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So now with all of these changes that are happening, I am concerned about the old school. And we've already seen some type of resistance, which they eventually had to quiet it down when it comes to bringing, let's say, rap music into the church. You know, when they realized that they were losing the young people in their congregations because the way they did it wasn't working for that generation. Some of them started incorporating this rap artists into the church. Now we've gone into amapiano, and it's taking over even into our chants.
Of course.
You understand?
There we go.
It's there. You cannot fight the change. But where do you think that leaves the baby boomers? And like, how can we get them?
That word messes me up every time.
How can we get them to understand that this change is inevitable? We need you to come into it so you don't feel left out.
I think that's on them, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way I can say it. You know, even God created seasons. Have you ever seen summer trying to fight winter? Not to happen. Because it's not the season for summer. So sun might come out in winter, but you will not feel the heat. It's not a season. You understand what I'm saying? Like now we're having all these seasonal changes and stuff. Winter can't come now. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's the same thing with, again, it comes back again to change. Change is the only constant thing. You can't, okay, if you're like 22 years old, maybe just finish your master's and stuff like that, and then say maybe Amazon, you know, employed you. Amazon will probably retire in the next 25 years or 30 years because they need fresh blood. They need fresh ideas. Now they retire you and give you some gratuity and stuff because they appreciate what you have done so far in Amazon. It's the same thing I see here. A lot of, unfortunately, like you say, baby boomers, you know, they've failed to mentor the next generation. I saw that very, very clearly a few times when I was still very, very young, because I had the opportunity to, you know, join very senior colleagues early in music, you know, to see how things were going. And trust me, the mistake that most of them made is they didn't know how to mentor the next generation. So now they're dragging the microphone with the next generation. Now they're dragging the stage with the next generation. It became a problem automatically. You know, now people want the sound of these young guys. They don't want your sound. Now you get upset. There must be an exit plan every time. I take example myself. There was a time, you know, where I posted like studio tutorials, you know, music business tutorials and stuff, everything on social media. You know, people will follow, sir, how do you do this? I'll show them. I don't have that energy anymore because there are younger people doing it now. So I'd rather sit in my studio, do those things, not try to show you that I can do them, because for years I've shown that I can do them. Now, I sit in my studio, I do my work, people get quality for what they paid for, they walk away. Unlike somebody who is probably like 20 years younger than me, they still have a point to prove. They still have mileage. So they can come online, put, you know, oh, this is how I did this is how you play this chord, blah, blah, blah. Now I can still do all of those, and I still do. I put them up for sale.
Don't you think you are retiring yourself too soon?
No, I'm not even retiring.
No, I mean from the public space in that
that's what people see. But unfortunately for me, it's safe. That's a safe place to be, because I'm not going to be dragging stage with anybody.
Understood.
You see what I'm saying? In the next 3, 4, 5 years, for instance, I probably won't actively be performing anymore. No, when I mean actively, what's now? I probably won't be, because that's my own vision.
Okay.
My vision is to have, you know, and I've
because you're not old though.
I'm not old, I'm young.
You might be older than people, but you're not
I'm
old.
not old at all.
Thank you.
No, I'm just saying that, you know, and see, it's even good you said that. Because most people wait till they're old before they have a better plan of exit. Exit plan does not mean that you left your career. No. Exit plan means you're in a place where even if you don't work anymore, income is still coming.
It works for you.
Relevance is still there.
Right.
The people that are currently hot, let me put it that way, in the career space of whatever you're doing, they don't feel like they're competing with you anymore. In fact, they feel like you guys are collaborating. They feel like when they run into issues, they can come to you. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's like the case of like the Chinese people. I love those people so much. the way they do their businesses. Chinese people, somebody might be like 55. They're probably in their house. They're not doing any work anymore. You know why? For the past 15 years, they've raised people, raised, and raised. That all they do now is sit on the board of directors for different companies. Those companies probably pay them maybe like 7% of their gain every year. Now, 7% might be like $700,000. Now they have like 10 of that. In a year, they have like $7-8 million that's coming to them. So these are the things that, you know, I see with the baby boomers, like you said. It's not all of them. Thankfully, there are some that are very smart, that they got quickly into that space of mentorship. You know, and mentorship does not mean to subject people.
Right, into your own way of doing things.
You understand? Mentorship means, what are you doing? Oh, wow. How can I help you to make it better? Oh, I see. Don't make this kind of mistake, though. Don't make that kind of mistake. I'll be pushing you from here. Go on. You know what? Let me call. You want to do? Let me call someone up.
Right.
They can help you accelerate it and make it fast. You know, things like that. Before you know it, people are opening companies. They're opening things and say, "Bros, please, I want you to be one of our board of directors."
I really think that's a great point, because even within the music sector, if I'm trying not to just refer to them as fathers, but those who have gone ahead of us, if a lot of them understood that, okay, seasons change, time changes, let me get close to the younger ones and see how I can mentor them in generalized information while allowing them to shine in the course of their style that God has given them, then there will be no need for them to feel like their time has passed. They will be able to, you know, have that light continuously shine, and that's what impact is. That's what impact is. It's not about people forgetting about you. It's about you being intentional, and it has to be intentional.
It has to be. In fact, I always say that there's a big trap with fame or being the biggest thing at the moment. It's a big trap. You know, spotlight can be a good thing. It can also be a bad thing, and this is where I explain it. And I hope somebody's listening. I might not say this again. Well, no, I'll say this again in my life. What am I saying? Anyway, spotlight. This is where I say spotlight. You know, when you put spotlight on something, what happens is single-handedly light up that thing.
Visible.
Two things can happen. Two things. One of two things can happen at any time. So that the person becomes very seen. Everybody like, wow, we can see this person now. Then they start to subscribe to whatever the person is doing. Or the person that wants to destroy them also will see them and can easily get them down.
You become a target.
That's why it's called spotlight. You can easily be spotted out for good or for bad. So it's a crazy place to be. It's a trap. Most people, when they get there, the accolade of the noise, or rather the noise of the accolade, you know, is what they are focused on. Like, wow, people are clapping for me. I just sang only 2 lines and they're screaming, wow, this is great. You know, they get carried away. And I've seen countless of people, even this generation, countless of people. You know, that's the way why I post on social media is because I've seen so many things. It's not because I'm perfect. I've seen so many things. The kind of person I am is, I don't want you to experience what I experienced. Let me put it that way. Or rather, I don't want you to experience what I have seen somebody else experience. I'll quickly tell you, Grace, if you go there, there's a crocodile there, it will finish you. You know, if you now say you are wiser than me, you will go. You probably might go and you're able to scale through.
Right.
But what if you don't scale through? It's the way
at least someone gave you the
at least somebody, exactly. You know, so it's a trap. Spotlight is a trap. Fame is a trap. For anyone listening, you know, when you are famous is when you need to start to prepare to exit the stage. You must always learn to live when the accolade is loud.
Wow.
That's how you'll be remembered.
Yeah, when you said that, it reminds me of comedy. Because in comedy, they say you have to leave when the crowd is laughing.
There we go.
You need to have a punchline. Because if you have to bring everything back down, you've left them in a lower level. You have to plan it in such a way that, and I think I heard a comedian say this, that he had exited the stage at one point, not because that was when he planned to, but he realized that was the highest peak. He had already gone for almost the amount of time he had to perform, and he was getting close to the end, but he realized that the jokes that he was hitting back to back, he was like, this is how I'm going to leave these people. And he did one last one, and the crowd was laughing, and he dropped the mic and walked away.
That's it.
I was like, interesting.
Yeah, yep.
Do you think that being in the spotlight, affects creativity in a positive or a negative way?
That's a tricky question. I don't want to sound like a rabbi that has the answer to everything. I think, again, it's in two ways, just for balance.
Okay.
Being in the spotlight can actually make you become less creative. And the reason is because you get to a comfortable place.
Because people are hailing you a lot.
People are hailing what you have done so far. So you're like, oh, I think this guy won't survive for the next 10 years. Forgetting that people move on so fast.
That's true.
Very fast. They don't care what you gave them yesterday morning.
That's true.
They
what are
move
you
on
giving
so
them
fast.
today?
Yes. And it can also work in another way where it can help your creativity, because now what you are doing in silence or behind the scene, you have brought it outside and people really, really like it. It can actually inspire you to do more.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's just like, of course, we're talking gospel, like gospel artists. I see that a lot, where they sing a song, like, wow, this song blessed them. Wow. There are some, I've seen some, they become even more inspired to churn out more songs. Yeah. Like the gentleman I was talking about, he just kept churning out more songs at one time. Maybe now he has chilled a little bit, but there was one time back to back, like all the songs were, if I can call it a hit for the sake of, less English to express. But I've seen some as well. Just one hit song. It rained for like 1 or 2 years and that's it. And they're now struggling to even get back to the place. So it's
it might be an internal struggle for those who are considered one-hit wonder. It might be an internal struggle of trying to produce something of that same magnitude, of which God just wants you to continue to use your gift. I really believe that, just as the example given in the Bible of those who were given gifts, and one person came back with one saying, well, I buried it and kept it back for you. I believe that we are all supposed to make use of these gifts. And sometimes people might not expect you, Dr. Joe, to do something else, but that's still part of your gifting, and God is going to ask you about it.
Exactly.
What did you do about it?
Exactly.
So with this whole thing about creativity and expressing our gifts, do you think that our cultural preferences limit our understanding or acceptance of what we consider to be anointed?
It does. Just very simple. Experiences and knowledge is, for me, is the base of, is the minimum requirement for me when it comes to being expressive. Is what you know that you can express. Take, for instance, two cases. One guy who grew up in Sierra Leone, never left Sierra Leone, became a local superstar, or should I say became a national star in Sierra Leone, who really loves to be there. And another guy who grew up in Cameroon, he has been everywhere in the world, he's in different cultures. They will talk from a different perspective. They will think in fact, they will write music from a different perspective. You understand what I'm trying to say? So it's a dicey one. It's a dicey one. But I believe that experiences and knowledge, they play a big part in the possibility of your creativity. So that if you don't have enough experience and knowledge, you can only function,
within that space. Of what you know.
Yeah, and you can only be reproducing the same thing every time. Until you seek for new knowledge, you'll still be around this. You might think, I'm doing something better. No. It's the same thing. You're just taking from the same pool of water, to do what you're doing.
I'm glad you spoke about new knowledge, because I encourage singers, musicians, maybe because I'm one, so I find myself encouraging them a lot. I say travel.
Yes.
Find a place to go to. Even if you don't have money to get on a flight and go somewhere, go to a church that's bigger than yours.
Yes.
Every now and then, just skip your regular church. I know some people would not like to hear that. Are you encouraging somebody? No, I'm not encouraging you to leave your church. I'm encouraging you to expand your knowledge.
It's the truth.
Understand that sometimes even what you do in your privacy is okay, but because you don't see other people who demonstrate it, we feel a certain type of way.
It's true.
And there are things that I hear famous artists singing and doing now. I'm like, I do that. I've been doing that for years.
For years.
In my house when I sing by myself. But when I go out to sing, I will not do that because I felt it was weird. And the downside to that is when you come up to do something that someone has already done and they're famous for it, they'll say you're copying them.
Exactly.
Not knowing that you were instead inspired by them to be comfortable in what you already have.
Exactly.
And I find that amazing. How can churches and our leaders, and more leaders rather, make space for creativity in the music department without them allowing people to term it as just entertainment, which, by the way, I have a contrary opinion to what most Christians think. I don't consider entertainment a negative thing.
Me too.
I don't know why people would say you're just entertaining and they think it's a bad thing.
Me too.
I'm like, we're expressing our gifts.
Yep.
Because people think that worship has to do with you frowning, your face twisting, it speaking in tongues, falling to the ground. So once it's too happy, once there's too much skill application, once there's too much of an expression, I mean, all of a sudden we're entertainers.
There is always a foundation to all of these things. Is what was handed down. One time in Nigeria, there was a church in Nigeria. I think it was in the 80s too. The 80s. You know, they told their members no television. So they didn't have television in their house. So it was weird to every other person that had television. But you know what is even more weird for me is how the children of some of these people will sneak to our house to come and watch TV. I'm like, no, boy, you people say you don't want to watch TV. That is the devil's box. But that same church, they have television ministries all over the place. In fact, the same person came on social media some years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, to say, oh, there were some things that he has said in the past, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, for me, in my mind, I'm like, okay, hold on a minute. Do you know how many people has been led astray, you know, because of that one thing? Now, trying to correct it, it won't be the same thing.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is this: creativity, like I said before, is not from the devil. It's from God. There are some that will express their music by dancing. Some express it by being sober. Some express it by being just unnecessarily uncontrollable. You know, they're all creativity from God. However, the Bible makes it clear that one of our greatest gifts is discernment. Sometimes you literally hear someone just chanting in their traditional dialect. And you're like, my friend, this is like some idol worship stuff. For real. That you're putting in the gospel song. Like, it's crazy. You know, but once you put pads and strings on it, it's acceptable. You know, and you know, without trying to be controversial, music naturally, I don't care what genre it is very, very sentimental.
It is. Absolutely.
Music is sentimental naturally.
Absolutely.
It does not care what genre you're doing. If you hear a beautifully made music, it will move you.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So some people, let me not say a lot, some people have mastered that craft of, you know, putting together nice music as gospel music, because of course it will move the people. I'm not against it. Like you said, I'm not against entertainment. I'm not against it. What I'm not for is how we use it and what exactly is our intention when we're using it. Right. Is it just want to make people cry so that they'll feel like they felt the anointing? It's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So there's a thin line somewhere there. Yeah. So for me, it's just to be careful, really. Just to be careful, because there are so many things that are permitted. Like you said, there's now a piano. There's a beautiful song that's raining right now. I said to my friend, I said, what is making this song rain is the beat. But it's a gospel song. I still don't have a problem with it. But I just wanted that, you know, we always know exactly what we're doing. Like, okay, this song, we want to create a crazy beat for it. Go ahead. Because I look at this, like what I said at the beginning, I look at this as good food and junk food, right? You can't say, oh, because I don't want to eat junk food, this good food is too good. No, I can't. Let's reduce the goodness of the food a little bit. It is good. It's organic. Go for it.
I see creativity as strategy.
Yes.
But there are people who see creativity as being out of context with spirituality. For example, the song you just gave, which we both know what song it is. And anyone who watched this, if that song is still raining at that time, they'll know exactly what song we're talking about.
Song it is.
Yeah, it is a strategic beat.
It is.
For this, when I say this generation, I'm not talking about millennials, because some of us millennials, yes, we're into that beat. But Gen Zs,
Gen
we
Alpha,
have Alpha now. As of January 1st, 2025, is Gen Beta, BETA. So there are 3 generations after
that's contesting for these things.
Right, after millennials. And I'm just like, life is going up.
My God.
Yeah. But when you see how this beat has trended and how it's trending and taking in our youths into the world, I am very okay with the fact that that beat is being
now used. Exactly.
Because the words, like what you said, I love so much what you said about what is our purpose, what is the motive, what are we trying to accomplish. They're singing these things and they're enjoying the beat, but you're prophesying.
Exactly.
You are getting to covenant with God. Out of your mouth.
Yes, so
you are speaking establishments. You are establishing things. You are
speaking mysteries and
life. Yes. You are prophesying life. Yes. You're talking about I will prophesy. I would raise the dead. You think heaven is not going to hold you to those words?
Of course.
So I absolutely I agree with that, and I love that 100%. So yeah, no, thank you so much for having this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really believe that we have to work on understanding that just because someone doesn't fall within the criteria of what you like does not mean that God does not accept them. In most cases, you are just not given the same anointing or grace to function in the capacity that they are functioning in, to reach the people that they are assigned to reach. If it is not the discerning of the Holy Spirit, it really is just your preference. It's not because people who are creative are being ungodly. So we cannot say that the person who speaks in tongues and runs left and right is more anointed than the one that raps. Because you who speaks in tongues and breaks down and cries all the time cannot reach the audience the rapper reaches. And he or she brings them into the knowledge of Jesus Christ. So we have to be very humble, very mindful, very demure, very mindful of what we classify as ungodly.
That's true.
Because we don't know it all.
That's true.
And we don't know if God is accepting what we are considering carnal.
I will just, like you said, speak to that and say, for anybody listening, there's a reason why God created you differently. You can grow up with 3 siblings, eat from the same pot, go to the same school, have the same prayer time, have the same life experiences, but you turn out differently, because that's exactly how God created it to be. He doesn't expect that all of you become doctors. He doesn't expect that all of you become engineers. The earlier we find our uniqueness, better for us. I found out early that that's what I write, I sing, I compose, I produce, I can act.
You can direct.
I do so many things. I'm not the next person. The next person is not me. And that's because I found out early that, this is who I am. And I told that path. And I feel fulfilled, to be honest. If you find out your uniqueness, that is when you have truly start to live your life. Because that way, nobody can confuse you. Nobody can use prophecy to confuse you.
That's right.
Nobody can use, beautiful looking offers, to derail you from God's plan for your life.
That's right.
People just need to come to a place where they understand that God created them, number one. And when God created us, He said what He did, what He has created so far, is beautiful.
That's right.
Once you have that mindset that you are beautiful, every other thing will align. But when you start to doubt yourself, am I enough? Can I see why that person sings better than me? No. I always say something. I just remember that now. I hope I'm not talking too much. When I was forming as a young musician, I always say something. Say, I don't care who plays better than me. When you're done, if you stand up and it's my turn to play, I'll play mine. And I'll stand up for the next person to play. without feeling intimidated. And that exactly is how I've lived my life. I find myself in the midst of very advanced musicians at such an early age. You know, of course, I will have some cold feet, but I still tell myself, Oga, play your own and stand up.
God gave you something
Do
too.
you understand what I'm saying? And when I play, people will say, there's something different with this young guy, And that way, God helped me. I was able to connect with different people, you know, who God has used to help me as well along my journey, you know, and that's how I got here today. So everybody needs to embrace their uniqueness. Your uniqueness is not fault. It's not an error. Some people feel like, oh, my voice is husky. It's not as smooth as Grace's voice. I can't. No, that is your gift. There's a certain gentleman, may his soul rest in peace. When he sings, his voice is not the best. But trust me, you can feel the anointing. You know, you can feel the anointing. And everybody attests to that.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So embrace your uniqueness. Know that you are complete. And that's it.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. Joel.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Need the paper?
I don't think so. So that the video can be clean.
I'll take the paper. I hold paper. I don't.
Oh, you do?
I sure do.
Oh, okay. Let me bring it. Come back here.
Is your phone on airplane mode before your alarm rings or your son calls?
You know, obeys in the gospel.
I will sneeze.
Excuse
me.
Cut.
I know. I'll cut that out. I saw the comment. I was like, I want you to get to a safe place again.
Of course.
Yeah,
That's the beautiful thing of today's technology. If it was before, you put everything in the podcast. So let me go back to. Okay, so
cultural.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad I could make it.
Yeah.